Greetings. Our Frederick Riddle here with another Christian News and Views. This is episode 141, and it's Tuesday. So after months of a simmering tariff feud largely focused on the U.S. and China, financial markets may finally have what they want, at least for now. That's the opening of an article that I read, and I'm going to read it to you because I think it kind of gives you a good idea of what's going on today. Well, this is Tuesday, but yesterday was the opening gambit and everything like that. And so this was actually, I actually did this episode yesterday in preparation for today. So I might be some information that has taken place that I have not included. But it was a very exciting day. It opened up strong markets and things of this nature. And I'm thinking that this is an article that is very crucial and needs to be taken a look at. So I'll begin again with the article. And it's about the U.S. and China trade tariffs. An agreement that is not a final agreement, but a sort of a pause. After months of a simmering tariff feud, largely focused on the U.S. and China, financial markets may finally have what they want, at least for now. Top officials may have bought some market patience. A strong rally was setting up for Wall Street on Monday. And I already mentioned it did start. After delegates from the Trump administration in China announced plans to cool simmering tensions by simultaneously slashing each other's tariffs. They are now with everyone else who did not retaliate, he said, adding that it would be implausible for those China tariffs to drop below 10%. Bessent said that throughout the process, which has roiled financial markets and the global economy, the U.S. has had a plan and a process in place. He added, and now with the Chinese, we have a mechanism for continued talks. I reject the notion that business as usual would have worked, he said. He said that the U.S. wants to continue with the strategic rebalancing of areas exposed as supply chain weaknesses during COVID-19 across industries such as medicines, semiconductors, and steel. He said that the United States has identified 5 or 6 strategic industries and supply chain vulnerabilities with a goal to get more U.S. independence or a reliable supply chain from allies. As for moving forward with China, he said the U.S. wants more balanced trade. And I think that both sides are committed to achieving that. We would like to see China open to more U.S. goods. The bigger questions about the global economy remain, however. Stock markets have enjoyed a huge rebound over the past month and are back to pricing in a lot of good news. Should the data start to worsen in coming months, then markets could easily take another tumble. For the moment, however, investors are content to ride the wave of euphoria from today's news, added Chris Beauchamp, chief market analyst at IG, in a note. So what we have here is a rather very important agreement that's taken place. And they pointed out something that I've been pointing out all along, is that they have a plan. And it's Trump's plan, but this plan is not just him. He has advisors and other people who feed their information in. He either approves it or disapproves it, and it becomes his plan, which is normal and it's the way it should be. But I have contended all along that I trust Trump on this, that he has a plan and that he would work things out. He himself had said it was going to be a bumpy ride, and it has been. But the bumps can get forgotten. They can get smoothed over. When you see success, when you start experiencing success, those things will be not as noticeable in your life. You'll look back at them and yeah, they were rough when I was going through them, but boy, I'm sure glad we went through them. And look what we have now. And we're not there yet, but this is a first step. And this is so I want to get into my opinion here. So this has been the most dominant news as the week begins. I agree that this good news, economically speaking, that it is, but it is a pause that can result in a better trade agreement, although that is not guaranteed. There's still some negotiating that has to take place, still some bumps in the road ahead. But at least they're willing to sit down at the table, look one another in the eye, and start talking. And when you get the heads of state to do that, that's a breakthrough. I've been watching the political scene for a very long time. I'm 82 now, and I was a teenager when I first started paying attention to what was going on nationally and internationally. And as I pointed out in my previous episode, my college education was limited, partly because of economics, partly because of I went into the service. A lot of different things played into that. And at that time, I was not as studious as I am now. So even that played a role in there. But I've learned a lot over the years. I've been watching them, and I've noted a lot of different trends and things that take place when liberals are in power and when conservatives are in power. And so I have had a very thorough education in the overall international economics, military, you name it. We've all had this information available to, but I have not only experienced it, but I've often done some research. I've even written books on some things in which I have looked into things, and I've read other people's works, scholarly works in some cases, that were very detailed. And so when I look at what's going on today, to me, it's like a fresh breeze. President Trump has brought a different mindset to government. Yes, he tends to brag about his involvement. He's got an ego. So do I. So do you. We all have it. In some cases, I would say his ego is more than justified. And so only history can judge on that. But the thing is that he came in with a plan. This is the thing that really struck me about Trump. Yes, he spoke to the issues that the populace was focused on. That's why he's a populist. He's a man of his times, I guess is what you would say, and he's had a plan. He didn't reveal that plan, and that really irritates the news media when the politicians don't share with them what that plan is, and if they do share the plan in say general terms, they want to know more, and they really get irritated when that doesn't happen, as though they have a right. That's not guaranteed in the Constitution. They don't have a right to that information. But they think of themselves as the guardian of public opinion. Well, those days are long gone. Today they are active participants in a particular agenda, which means they're not neutral. They're supposed to be neutral, but they're not. I'm getting off course there. Now, I am not a fan of doing business with any communist nation. But let's face it, folks, it is a reality. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and deny that we live in a global market. We do. At the moment, the best we can hope for and pray for is that there is some kind of equity in our relationship. And this is one of the things that Trump has brought. Now, when I look at the Bible and I look at book of Revelation, I don't see the United States mentioned. So I don't know how long this is going to last. The rapture could take place today. And so I don't know, like I said, I don't know how long this is going to last. But it looks like now, it kind of looks like it's going to last at least for the remainder of his administration. And I think he's going to accomplish some things, folks. He's going to lay a foundation. It'll be up to the future presidents, not only the one that follows him, but the one that follows that person, and so on and so forth, as to how long and how well this that foundation that is being laid, what happens. Do they build up on it, or do they do like Biden did? Trump laid a foundation and Biden tore it down and caused our country to go into almost slide back to where it was before Trump took over in the first time. So you just don't know. So I'm kind of optimistic here. I think that this is good news. But folks, this is not just a matter about economic trade. Now, Trump may see it that way. I don't know. He doesn't call me up. You know what? I know this comes as a surprise to you, but he does not call me up and ask for my opinion. And I understand that. But I do just want to bring this up. I would like to see any future agreement between the United States and China go beyond mere economics and touch upon human rights. China is not a country that treats its people well. Now, they'll argue that point, but we see it all the time. And it's rough on those people. They don't have the rights you and I have. They don't have the lifestyle you and I have. And so I would like to see the Chinese government open their economy more to the people, so that any profits that the nation gets into the hands of the people who make it work. It's not they don't believe this, I'm sure, but it's not the communist system that makes it work. It is human beings who make it work. And actually, if you really want to get down to it, it is God that makes it work. If God is in this whole thing, it will work. If he's not in it, then it's not going to work. But I would like to see a future agreement go beyond the mere economics and touch on human rights. Our influence there is kind of limited, to be sure. Historically speaking, it is limited. But we should at least try to extend our concern and maybe tie some economic benefits to that goal. In my lifetime, I have seen some foreign governments accept such pressure, but I've also seen others, perhaps the majority of them, reject it. So in the end, I believe that the United States will never morally influence other nations until we have a revival right here in our own backyard and turn back to God. If we don't do that, these agreements are very limited and may not last very long at all. We as a nation, if we want it to truly be great again, Trump can do a lot of things. One thing he cannot do is he cannot bring us into a proper relationship to the very God who brought the United States into existence. Only you and I can do that, and that's by turning back to God. That's by worshiping God. That's by reading his word, studying his word, and applying his word to our own lives, morally and in every other way as well. If we do that, we'll have a revival. And if we do have a revival and turn back to God, then God may give us some extra time. Who knows? I don't know what God will do. But in the Bible, when you read it, and there's been leaders, some of them really bad leaders, and when they realize that who God is, and they got right with him, God gave them time, gave their nation time. Israel is a good example of that. So hopefully you have liked this channel. I always try to make it as enjoyable for you and as informative as I can make it. So if you feel that way, right here, right about there, you see a place there, you can click on it, and you can subscribe to my channel, TR Independent Books. And when you do that, I make some commitments to you. I commit to you that I'm going to do all in my power to create episodes that will inform you, encourage you, and inspire you. That is my promise. That is my goal with every episode that I do. I want to do my best. If you don't like it, you can always turn me off. You can disagree with me. Do so in a very civil manner, as I spelled out in yesterday's episode, or not? Yesterday's episode. And so do that. Comment favorably or unfavorably. If you do disagree, give your reasons. Explain them. If you don't disagree, if you agree, rather, still do that. I'm interested in other people's opinions, and I might say, oh wow, that's pretty good. I'm gonna check that out for myself. Maybe I should take a stand on that, just like that. Check out the facts and find out. I'm very open to that, and so if you have the opportunity to do that, just leave a comment or so. Fine. I would enjoy it. I'll read it, and who knows, I might respond right there, or I'll respond again in a future episode. Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next episode.